What's up, guys? It's Lady Calysta. I'm back. So I wanted to do a quick update video to give you guys the latest and greatest on where I am, how everything's going. I'm recording as I'm speaking, so I apologize if I look down to show you guys something in specific. But there's a lot going on out there. There are so many questions that I've gotten. I've tried to respond to each and every one of you, but it's been insane because as I'm trying to respond, like I'm getting new mails and like things start getting like disappearing. I've tried to make sure I'm staying close to the comments on the revenge video. So, but there's a lot. So I wanted to make sure that number one, I was able to thank all of you, each and every one of you that has taken time of your day to mail me, line me, message me on Instagram or Twitter or in the game. It has meant so much to me. And a lot of you have said, you know, I'm really sorry about the whole getting zero thing, but I hope things are okay IRL. And that, I cannot tell you how just like, it's huge for me. So I really, really, really want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. A lot of you guys were so encouraging and you're like, you know, ignore the haters. And you guys know how something like this can be, right? And like trolls, like some people were just really, really happy. And I've gotten, you know, quite a few spams of, you know, of people just being like super ecstatic. And I hope you're dead in real life too. And like, just like, I'm always like, dang, like, do you have that much extra time in your day to just like randomly send me crap? Like, and the fact that there are people that I know have subscribed to me that absolutely hate my guts, that just want to be the very first like thumbs down or be the very first one to put something like super inappropriate right in the comment section. It just is what it is. It just comes with the territory. We keep it moving, as a lot of you guys have said. But I did want to give you guys an update, and I know some of you guys, especially those of you that have been watching me for a while, have the same questions. I was seeing the same questions come up. The first one being like, why did you leave CAE? So I wanted to talk about that too. So we'll start with that because I'm going to try to go in chronological order and then give you guys an update because I'm not quitting. I'm seeing in different channels people are saying, oh, she's quitting, and no, she's not, and there's still like gray area there. I'm not quitting. I'm playing. I'm still in the game. But I will tell you, we'll start with the CAE thing. So why did I leave CAE? I left cause and effect, my goodness, like maybe 2 months ago now. And there wasn't any big reason. So I did not get kicked. People are saying I got kicked. People are saying I had a huge fight with Avatrex or none of that at all. Zero. No drama, which I guess sounds super duper boring. We should probably create some fake drama to get some views for all the YouTuber channels. But like real talk, literally nothing happened. It was a really good friend of mine. I have been playing Mobile Royale since January, and one of the R4s there, who's a very, very good friend of mine, we've become like amazing friends. She has her own guild in Lords Mobile, so I decided to move to that guild to just be able to give her a hand. You know, they didn't have, not every single person in that guild had T4. I had a lot of T4, so I was like, hey, like, it's rare that I'm able to do something because I want to when it comes to games, right? And she's a great friend of mine, and like, why not, right? So I ended up going there. And we're still really good friends, so kind of like as an offshoot to that, now you're going to see that I am in WDG, which our R5 is Chow's, and Queen is actually going to be joining me there, who is the R5 that I'm talking about. And it's like one big happy family, so there is no drama here, and I'm super excited to be with Circus Inc. There's a big group, right, of various guilds. There's WDG, there's TFD, 4EX, 4EH, and AML. I don't want to forget anyone. But everybody's awesome. We have a bunch of line groups where there's like just a bunch of people from all those guilds together, and everybody's just really good. And I've played these types of games for years, for like a very long time, and I've seen really strong alliances and alliances where I'm like, girl, this is gonna go away in like 2 months. This is an awesome alliance. These guys coordinate so well. They are absolute beasts. I know I wanted to talk about this in the video too, because if you are interested in joining Circus Inc., I know that'll be a question. Please, please, please make sure that you're checking the requirements on the board. I would say for WDG, sigils are really important. That's something I'm working towards, making sure that I have the highest level sigils possible too. Everybody is. So that's something that in other guilds, it may not be a big deal, but it is here. They do have might and kill requirements. This is not a place where you're gonna go sit and farm, which is why I love it. And why I love being around these guys, because they're all just like, I would say guys and girls, because there's a ton of females in the family, which I love. So it's very kind of evenly split, and it's a blast. Like, everybody just wants to have fun and kill stuff, right? Like, who doesn't want to do that? So if you're interested in one of those guilds, just please make sure you guys are kind of checking out the requirements and contacting the appropriate people. I'm not it. Like, don't all come to me to try to get into Circus Inc. Check out the various guilds and figure out which one kind of speaks to you if you would want to join. Now, another thing that I should mention is rebuilding. That's another thing that people are wondering, like, are you rebuilding? So my base might, and I might as well just say it again, is 440 million might. That's my base might. Right now I am sitting at 604 million. So a lot of you guys are like, oh, you're rebuilding, it's slow and steady, and it is slow and steady, and here's why. So what I'm doing is I am trying to do all the Hell Train events, and I'm basically going to try to get Chaos Dragon through these, right? Like the all-day 24-hour challenges that are trained. I'm trying to be as smart as possible about this, even though my initial reaction was, I'm going to get a bazillion packs and I'm just going to like gem the hell out of all these troops, right? And every time that I have like spare change, I'm going to put it in the game, try to gem some troops. It's not really the smartest way to do things. And I'm always here telling you guys, you know, the way that I try to approach things. So that is why it is a slow and steady increase of might, is because I am going slow and steady. I am absolutely building the right comp this time. So I'm kind of troop number wise almost a third of the way there, right where I was before. My might is not going to be as high because I had a lot of T3 before, which is not a good idea when you're defending. I knew this. I have no excuse. I knew this, and it was one of those things where I was also building T2, but I was carrying around this T3, and it was because anytime my might would dip by even a little bit, if I had like a heavy KVK or whatever, I would get a million mails like, you're zero, what happened, you got attacked, you don't know how to fight. So I was so like might conscious that it like affected my gameplay, which it should never be that way, and that I learned my lesson. So my might may not be a billion or whatever, right? Like, I don't necessarily know that I'll get up there again, but I will have a hell of a defense. So I'm working on gear, I'm working on my jewels, I'm working on the familiars that I'm going to be putting on my wall. I've been doing a bunch of just research and testing and figuring out what makes most sense. So I'm not just rebuilding troops. There's a bunch of other stuff happening behind the scenes to make sure that I make my account as strong as possible, because like the target on our backs as YouTubers is always there, and now even more so in a way, because I would say after the initial videos came out, there was a lot of, I feel like the E family did get a lot of backlash for some of the members that did mail me. And I want to make sure that I'm clear. The leadership of E did reach out to me, and they were like, hey, like, who is it? We're sorry, that's not how we play. So, and this is how the game is, right? Like, we cannot control what other people say or what other people do. And I've been in leadership positions in the past and present, and it's hard, right? So no shade to those guys at all. Like, I still got a mail yesterday from one of them saying, and I don't know, I think it's the same dude who's like 250 million or so might, and every time I gem troops, he mails me. And he's from E family, and he'll always say the same thing. He'll be like, make more troops so we can make a bigger zero. And I never respond. And then yesterday I was like, yo, why don't you make some troops? And I finally responded, and he was just like, for what? I don't need rallies. And I'm like, but don't you film them or do something? So I don't know. It's, again, like, that's just how it is. Like, I was just in a silly mood yesterday, so I actually responded. Normally I don't. But, yeah, they're, like, keeping track of, like, how I'm growing. But I am growing the right way, and I want to grow the smart way. I will say resources, holy cow. Resources is the big thing here. Like, trying to replenish. And I'm really close to replenishing all my T4. And I cannot show my barracks, you guys. I will not show my barracks. But it's like the food, good God. And this is with me like buying packs and stuff. And this is how much food I have at the moment. It's hard. And I could run through these packs easily with what I have in terms of speeds and gems, but I'm trying really hard not to. Just like food for me has always been a struggle. Now I'm like starting to run low on stone. I'm like, However, where I haven't been running low, you guys, is on gold. And I kept thinking gold, because I'm like traumatized from like getting T4 in this game. But I think the reason that gold hasn't been a problem, and I'll show you guys my familiars, is because of my level 10 gold digger. So this is like super cool. It's helped me so much, right? And I've had this for a long time, so I've never had to really go into bags for gold. Typically I would have like a solid amount, 50 mil at least out, to heal and do stuff, because of this support skill. So this familiar has just been like immensely helpful. So for those of you that are short on gold, like this familiar skill is just so good. So I definitely recommend it. I am going to be creating content. Now I'm in a family that just is constantly kicking ass, right? So you might see some more videos from me that are more kind of like rallies and zeroing. These guys are so strategic in terms of how they go, you know, fishing. And even if they don't have a like a scout report on a large player, they do have a strategy for how they're going to figure out what's sitting in the front line. Of course, this is assuming that player has to be offline. And we're constantly checking, you know, helps and things like that to make sure that they are offline. So there's a lot of like really cool, fun stuff that I do plan on recording. I am also kicking around additional concepts for videos. If you guys do have any suggestions for me in terms of any Lords Mobile content that you would want to see, feel free to put it down below. I'm doing a ton with like familiars all of a sudden because I had very attack heavy familiars. Super great to use when you're attacking a castle, not the best to use when putting on your wall. So there's a difference there, but I know that there's a lot of other YouTubers that have done videos. I've been watching all their videos and testing everything that they're saying, right? Because nobody agrees with anybody else and everybody comes up with what they think is best for them. But let me know what you guys are interested in and what you guys want to see more of. I think right now the game's in an interesting place. They're still kind of rolling out additional heroes. They're still rolling out expansions. One video I am going to be doing, actually I have two concepts and I'll let you guys know what they are now. But one of them is going to be comparing Lords Mobile to Mobile Royale. Now for you Lords mobile players that immediately groaned and were like, I don't care. You know why? Because there are things that are going on in Mobile Royale that are replicas of Lords Mobile, but they are being done in such a better way. A great example is if you're sending resources, you don't have to keep selecting how many resources to send each and every time. Like in Mobile Royale, you select the player, you have a button that says max, right? So let's say it's max and it's 6 million. You click max and you click send, and you can just keep clicking send. And then I come to Lords Mobile and I'm like, what the hell is this, right? Like we're going like one by one and you're doing this individually. In Mobile Royale, you have the opportunity where the gifts are split out. So gifts that you're getting from monster hunting are in one bucket of 300, and then gifts that are because of purchases are in another bucket. So if you cannot log in all day and you have a super active guild, you're much less likely to miss out on gifts. Like why can't we have that in Lords? Right? There's a bunch of stuff. If you look at the map, you can quickly see who owns every fort, who owns the base. That's huge when you're in the middle of like a fort wars, right? And you're trying to figure out where you're supposed to go, as opposed to having to click everything. You just click the map and you see everything there. So there's a lot of those things that I'm like, we need to make sure that we as a community like rally around stuff like that, because there's so much time, so much money that's been invested by players in this game. And if the technology from IGG already sits out there and they're already doing it from Mobile Royale, like they should be able to bring it over to us too. Because I feel like it's the kind of thing that is going to make our lives better. It's not, and it's free, right? It's like easier to send resources, better to like not have a bunch of gifts expire, easier when you're trying to fill or figure out who has capital. There's like all these types of things, and I feel like I want to do like a compare and contrast so that you guys can know what those things are, and we can maybe have a voice out there to have some changes and have those like modifications made. The second concept that I'm kicking around is almost like a mini series where I will interview the R5s of some of the biggest, I would say English speaking guilds or international speaking guilds for now, just because it's really difficult to communicate with someone that does not share a common language and only using translate. Things will get lost in translation, and I don't want to misrepresent what anyone says. But if they have an English speaker, then that would be awesome, right? Because then I can make sure that their exact sentiments are being translated. And then just asking them specific questions. I know a lot of you guys are like, what does it take to like be in a guild like that? Or what do I have to do to stay in a guild like that? Or how did you build the guild? Or what's your background? Or what do you like about the game? What do you wish you could change? Like just some of that with some of like the bigger players of the game that I think a lot of us know and have questions about or are curious about. So that's going to take me a little bit of time because I need to create the list. I need to create the list of questions. I need to get them to agree to like do this with me. It might be similar to like my former videos where I did tips and tricks and did something similar where I'll like bring up their responses, or it can be a video response. I'm not quite sure. I'm still kicking that around, but that's something that I'm just thinking about. So let me know if you guys think that's interesting. Then I can put like, the pedal to the metal and try to move that one forward. I will end with this. A lot of people are like, you're a punk, you're a coward, like unbubble. No. And I hate to sound like a jerk, but I'm not an idiot, right? So I don't know who that would work on, but it certainly won't work on me by saying that like I'm an idiot or whatever. Like, guys, here's the thing. Everybody knows my base might. Everybody knows I got zeroed. Everybody knows that I'm making troops. People can estimate how many troops I'm making based on the composition that everybody's running, right? I absolutely 1000% know that the E family has spies in either my guild, in my family guild. Like, it is a heavy spy thing. So they're going to be like trying to hit me at 3 a.m., trying to figure out if I'm going to be online or offline. So until I know I can heartily take a quad, which is why I'm working on all these things at the same time, I'm not going to pop. Right? Because I'm building, I'm rebuilding, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, I don't owe it to anyone to unshield and have to prove my manly's worth. Like, I don't care. Because I want to make sure I do this the smart way, right? And I know, like, the whole target on my back, like, it's always been like that. Like, back even in BRR days, right? When I would go to, I don't even remember if it was, like, Baron or Emperor, but I would go to, like, the big events, and I would have already gotten a bunch of emails from, like, I don't want to say what the guild names are, but like big guilds that were like, we can't wait for you to unshield. And I would very cockily go send my hero and attack a friend and be like, look, I have no hero, come rally me, right? But they didn't know exactly what I had, right? So there was that element of surprise. Right now that I'm rebuilding, people are this is all math, right? Like, it is very easy to figure out like where I'm sitting and try to take some guesses. So I'm gonna do it when I'm ready, and I don't think there's any shame to my game, because that's the smart thing to do. And this game is not about just being stupid and rah-rah and out there, but it is about being strategic and smart, right? A lot of you guys were like, well, E family was very strategic in sending a spy. Well, this is very similar to that. I will say that I did do something super silly where they were rallying a player of one of our family guilds, and there were, as usually happens, right, when they do this, it was a big guy, like 700 something million might. The guy was offline, and there's a million castles there, right, because they're all rallying him, tripling or quadrupling or whatever they're doing. And eventually he gets online. They didn't burn him, and he ports out. And so I poured into that spot like a total jerk move, guys. Like, I haven't seen anybody talk about this, but I couldn't record it because I was like, I did it and I was like, oh my god. And then I start spamming emojis, like kissy emojis, and like, I don't even know what kind of emojis, like shocked emojis. And dude, I took 15 familiar attacks. It was so funny. And two Blackwing. It wasn't even like all Pyrus attacks. Like, it was raining fireballs on my butt. And it was so funny. I don't know if they got it on tape or I didn't get it on video. I wish one of us got it on video, because at the end of the day, it's all good, man. Like, I've spoken to some of those guys on E, the billion might player that we ended up zeroing was like, hey, dude, we're like in the same might level now, starting out over again. I'm like, yeah, we are. Right? It is what it is, right? This was kind of like, I was clowning. I am in Circus Inc., right? So I was clowning around, just popped in, and they went ham with those fireballs. There was a point where I was sitting there, and I'm like, damn, they're actually killing, like, they're actually doing some damage here. And then when they started throwing the Blackwing attacks, I was like, whoa, they're dropping jams on my ass. So that was just like a funny comical moment that I wanted to share with my subs, because I thought that was kind of funny. But again, let me know if you guys have any ideas for additional videos. There's going to be a lot of really cool rallies I foresee in the future, zeroing happening. And I'm not quitting. I'm still here. I hope some of you guys are happy about that. I know some of you guys won't be. That's okay. I cannot please everyone. I'm okay with that. But again, thank you so much for watching.